Hey guys, Epics here, coming at you guys with a Furion jungle guide today. So what I'm gonna go over is how to get a really fast Midas, somewhere around 5 to 6 minutes, even with the worst spawn combination on your creeps, and how to do it safely. Also, I want to mention very quickly that to do this, you have to realize that your Furion will be useless to your team for the first 5 minutes or 6 minutes, because you do not want to go gank and disrupt your farm and mess up your mana consumption. You want to send up your creeps beforehand to the rune spawns and these places to make sure that nobody runs here and wards your small creep camp. Also, that to start off, you would need one of your supports to stack you, pull you one of the clarities. Your starting item wants to be Glove of Haste and 2 clarities, and if you don't have somebody pulling you, you want to give yourself a clarity with a courier before you run out of clarity potions. Here I typed in cheat 50 gold and gave myself 3 to start. And what you want to do is at the 0-minute mark when the creep spawn, you want to summon trees while you're still in base, heal up your mana. So at the 30-second mark when the creeps spawn, you will be able to have full mana and you will have these 2 trends to use. And what you want to do is, as soon as your skill is CD'd, summon those trends, because this way you're stacking DPS. You actually clear these camps much faster than if, say, you did not and you waited for these to time out and do it. Instead, just summon it as early as possible. And here's what I mean about the worst case spawn. You hate these bears. You never want to get these bears. But there is a way to deal with it, because these bears clap on your units. So you want to let just one of your units die, and all this same time make sure you're targeting the main hail bear. And then once this gets low enough, you want to kite like this, have your main hero tank a little bit of the damage, and while your hero's tanking the damage, let your Trent to attack this bear unit to get some extra DPS. And once the hail bear is dead, summon your new set of Trents, pop your clarity potion, use these Trents to tank the damage, and you're good with your rotation. You got rid of this really disgusting camp and you're not that far behind. Although your life is lower than you would want to in case of ganks, you're very safe in this position, and normally you would have a rune word here, or in this case you could ask for a rune word here so that you get vision of all this area. And at this point you want to rotate here and clear this camp. Pop your clarity, second clarity at this point, making sure that your trends would you're able to keep up with your trends. And at this point, resummon. Go ahead, last hit these creeps. When you're microing these creeps, it's not too hard. When they are aggroing, you can pull them back, or if they're ranged, instead you could control your units and click attack onto your friendly unit. Like for example, he's attacking this. If I controlled this unit and clicked A on this, he would actually instead attack the other unit, the unit that you're clicking attack on. It's not too important, not too fancy, doesn't really matter. Clear this wave, pop your clarity, and then because your health is lower than usual, you don't want to rotate here because it's in a real game, it's unrealistic. And I didn't even know, but here's another hail bear. You probably don't want to deal with that. So just pop your clarity, wait for it, summon your new trends, and go ahead with it. Ideally, if you're not going to go with the carry build that I'm going to mention very quickly, instead you want to just buy 3 to 4 clarities, so that's 200 gold yourself, and then go ahead and buy 3 of those branches. And then you want to rush your urn as early as possible. That way you can start ganking. Now here's another one of this really disgusting camps. What you want to do is actually just put 2 units onto the centaur, and then afterwards one dies, you pull the other unit in. It's not too big a deal, although his stomp is pretty bad because it stuns your units for 3 seconds and heroes for 2, but it doesn't do as much damage as Hellbear, so it's actually very easy to deal with. Here you see no problem. Again, wait for these to respawn in like 4 or 5 seconds. I make a small mistake here and end up blocking this camp myself. I didn't even notice that these trends standing there until later that it actually blocked my camp. But at this point, it's not too big a deal. but because of the early Hellbear, what is it? The early Hellbear spawn, the worst spawn that you can get, you're actually behind on your mana and clarity because you couldn't just resummon and fast DPS them down with 2 waves of trends. Instead, you had to tank damage with your hero. So with this build, at the 4-minute mark or so, you would have to go back to heal. Ideally, this isn't blocked, so you can use your trends, and just clear this out. But instead, it's not too big a deal. Just run back. And once you run back, heal up your mana, and while you're still inside the base, summon some trees, send them out so that you're really conserving your mana this way. And then while they're walking out, keep healing your mana, and then just teleport onto the neutral camp and continue. Because of the teleport skill, you're not really delaying your farm time by too much. As you guys saw, when I ran back, it was about 4:30. You're back in the action about 4:10, so it's about 30 to 40 seconds of time that you're spending on healing. It's not too bad, and if you had to curry yourself over a clarity or something like that, it's probably not as good. At this point, 5 minutes, as you see, I'm very, very close to my Midas already, and if your team was able to take out any of these towers, you would have it by now, but as you see, I will get it in the early 16 minutes. We'll just clear up this small camp very quickly. Let me speed it up for you guys. And then afterwards, pull out, make sure the small camp spawns. After it spawns, clear it out, and you will have your Midas. So guys, I hope it was useful for you guys. As you see, it was only this camp and this camp, so it's very safe, very unlikely that you'll get ganked. Thanks for watching, guys. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. See you guys next time.